Hello, everyone. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and this is Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown. And this is our 12th show. By the way, we just started posting videos about a week ago, so um, we're brand new, and we could appreciate your support.
Yeah.
Sure, subscribe and like and support, and that's why you don't see a lot of views or a lot of subscribers because we just started about a week ago. All right, so today we're going to talk about the NBA Hall of Fame, which was just announced a couple days ago.
Uh-huh.
And the one selection that stood out to us was Michael Cooper.
Yeah.
The other ones, were rather obvious selections, I think. And Michael Cooper was a defensive specialist for the Lakers. The other ones, by the way, was do them real quick. Chauncey Billups and Vince Carter were the big names, and Walter Davis. And the big name in the women was Simone Augustus. And Veterans Committee, I think the big name was Dick Barnett. And then Jerry West got it for like the third time for another reason. And then I was glad they got Doug Collins in there because Doug Collins was, to me, he was nominated 5 times for an Emmy, but never won.
Huh.
And to me, he's the best basketball analyst I've ever heard.
I remember him. I thought he was great. Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he was really
a little bit
good.
better than Hubie Brown, and I think Hubie Brown is great. And I think Hubie Brown's like 110 and still doing it.
I know. I still hear him. I'm like, when they said Hubie Brown, he's still.
He's great. He's great. But I just thought Doug was a little bit more insightful. But anyway, so it was great. And if you don't know the story behind Doug Collins, I think he was a 4-time All-Star. But in the Olympics in 1972, it was a really close game, and the U.S. had never lost. And he stole the ball, and then when he drove to the basket, he got smashed. And I think they didn't have the padding around the stanchions back then. And he hit his head, and he shook off getting his head, and he knocked 2 free throws, the most clutch 2 free throws in the history of U.S. basketball, at least U.S. international basketball. And then they gave the Russian team 3 tries to score, and they finally scored, and they lost. It's the worst. It's the worst.
It was the worst.
Most unfair team loss I've ever seen in my entire life. If you look it up on the documentary, there's documentary on the internet. So he never got his gold medal, and of course neither did anybody else. It's still in a vault. They refused it because, just so you know, what happened was they appealed it, and it was a 3-2 vote, but all 3 of the people were Soviet bloc representatives. How that happened, who knows? There was like 200 countries, and there just happened to be 3 Soviet bloc judges in the committee, and it was a 3-2 vote. So the Americans should have got the gold medal. So anyway, so that's what happened. That's what Doug. So I felt bad about Doug Collins because he should have been the biggest hero in America. Instead, it was everybody just wasn't talking about that. They were talking about the fact that they didn't get the gold medal. So I'm really, really happy for Doug Collins. He's a nice guy. He was a good coach. He got fired when he didn't get all those championships with Jordan because they thought Phil Jackson could do a better job. So he lost out there. He lost out in the Olympics. He never won the Emmy, even though he got nominated 5 times.
Right.
And now he's in the Hall of Fame. So I don't even know the guy, but really, I'm really smiling about the fact that Doug Collins got in for various reasons.
I'm like you. I'm very happy he finally got in, Dave's. Like I said, he seems like a really good person. He was a great coach. Just happened to be in that era with with Jordan and Jackson. So, and with the Olympic, that really, and I'm sure that really bothered them too. But I'm really glad for him also.
And I remember, we're older, so we remember Dick Barnett. He was a good all around player.
I remember Dick Barnett.
That was nice that he got in.
That's my Knicks team. That's my New York Knicks team. 70 and 73. And
all right, so it's nice that he finally got in too. But I think Chauncey Billups and Vince Carter deserved it. They're not superstars.
Is Bill Laimbeer in the Hall of Fame?
No. Bill Laimbeer is in the
you think you'll ever get into the
Hall of Fame of athletes who are criminals. That's what Bill Laimbeer is in. Hall of Fame athletes and criminals.
Most likely.
He's in the Hall of Fame for most assaults without getting arrested.
Right, exactly.
Bill Laimbeer is in.
Most likely to be arrested if he was on the street. Bill Laimbeer.
Bill Laimbeer should not be a free man. But let's be honest about this.
But the committee's going to put him in there. He's going to be in there, and you know why?
I don't think
he's on that team.
So let me see if I don't even think he's on the top 200. I don't think I'm even gonna look him up. I'm not gonna bother looking him up.
God.
Anyways, so let's go back to Michael Cooper.
Oh.
And so Michael Cooper, Sam, I don't think you can. I think you, like I said, I don't just count all-star appearances or all-pro or MVP things. I think you count everything. You count statistics. You count those things. You count advanced statistics. The PER and win share. You count how he makes the eye tests, including how he makes teammates better, how his team, some success to his team. I think you include everything when you do that. And so with Michael Cooper, this is just one factor, but he was never voted to an all-star game and never made an all-pro team. Right. Now, he was Defensive Player of the Year.
1 year. I know, for 1 year.
And 1 year, and he was first and second team. I don't know if it was 4 and 4, but he was first and second team 8 times. And he had 5 championships with the Lakers, which I give him very little credit for because he was not one of the top 1 or 2 players on the team. So his stats are 8.9 points, 4.2 assists, 3.2 rebounds, and surprisingly low for a guy who's basically known for his defense. 1.2 steals per game and 0.6 blocks.
And wasn't
bad for a guard.
Wasn't he a shooting guard or a small forward?
Yeah, shooting guard, and he's listed as a shooting guard, but he also sometimes guarded the small forward if that was their best player. So I don't know how he gets in the Hall of Fame when we're going to talk about other players who have all sorts of stats, and I'll go through them for you. You can tell me which ones you like.
Right.
And then there's on Basketball Reference, by the way, they have a percentage of chance of them making the Hall of Fame, and that's what these percentage I'm going to give to you. Sean Marion, 76%. He had 4 All-Stars and 3 All-Pros. Sean Kemp, 38%, 6 All-Stars, 3 All-Pros.
And 3,000 kids.
What?
And then 3,000 kids.
And 3,000 kids with 2,999 women. Right. Kevin Johnson. That's almost true, by the way. I think he has.
It is true.
9 kids with 8 women or something like that.
Right.
That's almost the same as 3,000. I'm not very good at math. So. Kevin Johnson, 0.19% chance of making it. 3 All-Stars and 3 All-Stars and 5 All-Pros. That's unusual. Maybe I wrote it down backwards. Amari Stoudemire, if I'm pronouncing that right, 0.73%. And 6 All-Stars and 5 All-Pros. Marcus Johnson. I guess it's Marquise Johnson. I'm sorry, I pronounced it wrong with the Q. It's 5 All-Stars and 5 MVPs.
No, it's Marcus, even with the Q. They call him Marcus Johnson, Play for the Bucks.
I'm sorry.
Play for the Bucks.
I lost my train of thought. I lost it. After Stoudemire was Chris Webber, and that was 0.13 percentage. And I was surprised at that 0.13.
Yeah, that surprises me. 6
All-Stars, 5 All-Pro selections. These All-Pro selections are first, second, or third just combined because otherwise you get giving too many stats for days.
Okay.
Marquise Johnson is 0.25% chance of making it, 5 All-Stars, 3 All-Pros. And Tom Chambers, just because he was listed in an article I read, 0.05, 4 All-Star selections and 2 All-Pros. So there was this article that argued that Michael Cooper got in because he was on a team that won a lot of championships,
right?
Not because he deserved it, which I think is what we're arguing here. And the article had mentioned some guys who really carried their teams, like that a lot of their teams weren't the best team in the league, but they won like 50 to 60 games. And that was like Tom Chambers, and he mentioned Kevin Johnson and Marquise Johnson. But the one that was the highest percentage is Sean Marion, and he had a nice all-around game. But he's not in, and Michael Cooper is. I guess that's the most obvious selection.
Yeah, exactly.
According to the Hall of Fame selection, according to my eye. So I think he should be in this year and not Michael Cooper. And Michael Cooper can maybe get in the Veterans Committee or something like that because I don't think he deserves it.
Well, they also put in where they said, defensive player for the year, and then in the NBA, the championships, and then he won a championship coaching basketball with the WNBA Sparks. So I guess they put that factor in, but that does not factor you in to be a Hall of Famer.
And Rob played basketball in high school and college, and he coached, and he really emphasized defense, and he's a defensive specialist, and he's arguing Michael Cooper shouldn't be in. So that tells you something.
Yeah. I mean, defensive player over the years, okay, big deal. And
And that's so it just seems fair. So the article made some good points about the fact that, and they do that. Like I looked at the NFL selections for like the top 75 and top 100 and whatever, and anybody that was on a lot of Super Bowl winning teams, like Pittsburgh, Dallas, stuff like that, San Francisco, they were more likely to make those teams than people who had similar stats or similar all pro selections and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So, that's all I'm saying is it's like, it's almost they're giving them credit for winning, even though unless they're a quarterback, they shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's why we're saying, it was definitely because he was on the team. And that's why I was asking about Bill Laimbeer. I mean, are they going to put him in there because they won the championships?
I'm putting him in jail. I told you where I'm putting him.
Have a separate Hall of Fame for him.
That Larry Bird quote where he said, other people gave you a hard playoff foul, but he was the only one that tried to hurt you.
Oh, God.
And that's why I'm surprised. I mean, if he wasn't a big guy, he might have gotten.
He was a good coach. He was a good WNBA coach. He won a championship with the LA Aces. So
yeah, totally irrelevant to him being.
I know, being Hall of Fame. I know. But I mean, no, not really, because that's what it's saying with Michael Cooper. He won a championship with the LA Sparks. So
here's some active players that they talk about. See what you think. LeBron and Kevin Durant and Chris Paul and Stephen Curry. They're active or they don't have their 5 years yet, or I think it's 4 years. They're all 100%. And then they got James Harden at 99%, Russell Westbrook at like 99%, and Dwight Howard at like 90%. And then there's Giannis at 98%. And we got Kawhi Leonard is going to be in there also. So he was next, and he's at 91%. So, anyways, those are players that they're all got to get in. So they're not.
That's a given. Yeah, I have no problem with those.
Okay, now it's going to get a little. Draymond Green, he's listed at 76%. Would you vote for him? Or would you put him in? Would you put him in jail along with Bill Laimbeer for hitting? He's privates.
No, he's just 4
times in 1 year.
He's just as an old time sir. He's just a knucklehead. I mean, if he was my teammate, they say, "Oh, you would like to have someone like that on your team." No, I wouldn't. As a coach or as a player, he's very disruptive. I mean, did you see the game last night? What happened?
I did not watch the game last night.
So the Rivers drove in and. He went up and his hand hit Draymond in the face, and Draymond went down. And Draymond thought that there should have been a foul called on Rivers. And he gets up and he's in the referee's face. And all of a sudden, you see security, coaches, everything. He's still jawing at the referee. And you see all these people around you have to look it up. It's amazing. You see almost like 20 people around on the floor surrounding him and the referee. I'm going like, how can this guy even be? What is this? This is a circus act. Curry's trying to hold him back, and he's still jawing away. And I'm going, that's very disruptive. You're not helpful to the team. I mean, and the whole point was he was having a good game. He hit 5 for 5 on 3-pointers in the beginning of the game. He was 5 for 5 on 3-pointers. He was having a great game with a nice couple assists. But then after that play, it was like, but they had 20 people on the floor. I'm like, I was like, the announcer was like, what is this? But so, no. Hall of Fame for him, I don't know. He as me as a personally, he bothers me. I couldn't play for him. I'd be like, will you shut the hell up? Will you just play the game? Could you, we understand it was a foul. But quit your crying. See, as a coach, when I coached, if any of my players would have did that, they wouldn't be back in the ball game. That's what I get paid for. I get the technical fouls, not you. Sit your butt on the bench. I'll take care of it.
Okay, I don't like the guy at all, so I have a hard time being objective. But I do my best, like I said, and I wouldn't want him on my team.
No.
I don't care. I mean, the Warriors like him on their team because he gives them the defense and the toughness and whatever. But I wouldn't want him on my team. I like to have a cohesive unit. I think you're much more effective as a team when you have a cohesive unit, and he is exactly the opposite of that.
Yeah. No,
and he might have cost him a championship.
That's right.
We'll never know.
I think he's selfish. He's a selfish. To me, he's not a team player. I mean, they say he's not a team player. He's selfish. He's always worried about, I got hit. That should be a foul. Wah, wah, wah.
I'm on the fence for him. What about Klay Thompson? He's 70%.
I like Klay. I like the way.
I don't know if you liked him. Would you vote him for the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Well, if I like that, means I would vote for him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's 70. He's 70%. And that's the end of the list. They actually do have other ones. Oh no, they do have some honorable mentions, but I'll do them real quick. So these are all going to be less than 70%. But the Damian Lillard, Paul George, Kyrie Irving, Jimmy Butler. Any of those?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
I would. Damian Lillard's at 90%. Paul George is 84%. They're going to get in. Kyrie Irving's at.
No, you talk about. I think Damian. I think Damian Lillard is. I'm sorry.
71%.
I think Damian Lillard is overrated. I think Damian Lillard. No.
You wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame?
I would put him in the Hall of Fame, but not right now. No.
Well, you can't. You can't put him in right now. You got to be.
When he comes up, like I said, the Hall of Fame is almost it's like everybody gets an award when you're playing for the baseball team, even if the other team wins, the other team gets a trophy. It's kind of like that. It's like, okay, you played the NBA, you played you did this. Okay, you can be in the Hall of Fame.
Joel Embiid is at 66%.
Well, he'll definitely be. He's a definite Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I know. That's
very true. I can put him 67th. He should be up in the 80s. He should be up in the 80s.
Kevin Love is at 73%.
Who?
Kevin Love. And Kyle Lowry's at 85%.
What? Wait a minute. 85?
Yeah, I was surprised Kyle Lowry was that high.
Kyle Lowry?
He might just maybe sure about that? But I'm just surprised he's
85 over Embiid. So he has a better chance than Embiid.
I don't do the rankings. This is Basketball Reference. I mean, they're pretty reputable,
I want to be on there. Well, can I be on their thing? Since I'm wrong a lot of times, I want to be on their committee then. I want to join their committee.
I don't think it's committee. I think they have some kind of formula having to do with statistics. And then they figure out what their chances are based on that.
How can Lowry be over Embiid?
How what?
You said Lowry's over Embiid as far as getting in, right?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm confused why Embiid is so low, but that it may change as they get further in their career because it's too early. I don't know exactly how they do it because I know how I have a feeling how they do it. I'm just surprised that Kyrie Irving is above Kawhi Leonard.
I don't need a computer to say Embiid's better than Lowry. I don't need to do whatever they do. I don't need any computer.
Jokic is 96%. Who would you take between Kyrie Irving and Kawhi Leonard? If you can only vote for one for the Hall of Fame. You ran out of votes. You get five people, and you have 4 spots full. Who would you vote for?
I probably would go with Leonard, Kawhi Leonard.
I would 100% go with Leonard. I think he's a much better all-around player, and I think he makes his teammates better. He carried a Toronto team that wasn't that great to a championship.
Right, I'm going with the Mark Hauser theory of how to get it. So yeah, I would definitely take Leonard.
What theory are you using in mind now? You stealing from me?
You're making the players better around him. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's really important for any MVP thing, probably for Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
Anytime you're rating a really good player, I think you have to include that even more in your analysis. That's just especially for MVP, because MVP is supposedly, how many wins you're going to lose if you get taken off the team. That's essentially what you have to do in your mind.
So who's going to win this year?
Pardon me? Who's going to win this year?
Who's going to win this year?
I guess the ones we just mentioned off. I mean, looks like Sean Marion's going to be in this year.
No, I mean MVP for this year. For them.
Oh, we already talked about that. So, but in another video. But yeah, I think Jokic is going to win. But Luka Doncic is. I can see that vote. Very interesting. I don't know if they deserve to be 1-2 because SAG. I always call him SAG. So I don't pronounce his own name. Is like third or second depending on whether you go by the straw poll or the percentages of the chance of winning. But those guys are both white Europeans, and looks like they're going to be 1-2. I mean, he didn't get hurt. If Embiid didn't get hurt, of course, that wouldn't be the case. So, but that's very. That might be the only time in history like 2 white Europeans are first and second in the MVP voting. If
we can't have that.
No, we're gonna have to stop that voting right away. This is gonna upset that Lindsay Schnell from USA Today, who wanted only black
right, exactly.
USA. In fact, we better email and ask her if it's okay. I think we need permission for 2 white players to be 1-2 in the voting.
And we got to talk to we have to talk to Kendrick Perkins too, because that's definitely,
Well, we can CC him on the email.
There we go.
So we let him say, look, it looks like the MVP voting is going to be 1-2 for both white people. They happen to be European. It's irrelevant for them because they just care that they're white. So we'll let them know. We'll ask them. We'll say, listen, should we change the voting for you, make you happy, so you won't be depressed and have to write.
Well, I think they should be American citizens. There's no way they should be.
So we can't vote for Europeans.
Oh anymore? No, we can't do that. Heaven forbid.
Doesn't matter what country, just as long as they're not American.
That's right.
All right, that's fair enough. So
it's NBA.
He's going to win. So we eliminated both the white guys by doing that. So Bill Simmons has an award for best American white guy every year, and Hero won it last year, and this year he gave it to Chet Holmgren, and that's what he gave it to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll give it to him. Yeah, I'll give that to him.
Supposed to be in his second year, but he's like a rookie.
Right.
And so he gave it to Hero last year, and he gave it to Chet Holmgren this year. I don't know who's won it in the past. But it's pretty sad that, Hero's not a great player, and he was the best white guy in the league up until this year when Chet Holmgren's.
He was good for Miami. I mean, he came in the game. He was good for.
I know, but he's not. He's not his real star. Chet Holmgren's going to be, obviously. And who knows? Maybe Chet Holmgren's the best white player, U.S.-born white player since Larry Bird. Who knows? We'll see.
But isn't it like we were talking about? Isn't it sad that they have to put race into it? It's just like, who's the best player? I think they put it in because it's so pathetic that the white American players just none of them. I mean, not since Larry Bird. I mean, but yet there's European players that are at the top. So it's kind of weird. Well, I will say that logically, you have to remember that U.S. is only one country. Right.
In Europe, Europe is basically Europe. Europe is several countries.
Right.
So there is, more of a chance that a great player may come out of there if you look at it that way.
And then and your people, they go to golf and baseball. So
who goes to golf and baseball?
Your people.
Your people.
People with glasses. What do you think I meant with people with glasses? Yeah. No.
Your people. You say use people. You gonna say use people to me? That's why I chose Rob to do this show with, because
even though the high school that we went to
racist.
Yeah, even though
I knew the racism would come out eventually. All right, so that wraps it up for today. Listen, make a comment down below, and I especially want to know,
especially you people.
No, I want to especially know, from you, especially want to know from you people whether you people think that Rob saying "you people" was racist. Now, I know Cheryl Swoops doesn't think so because she said black people can't be racist. But I want to know if you think Rob was being a racist when he said "you people," and he was serious when he said that. I could tell. Now,
I was totally serious.
I can't say that, but Rob can say "you people." You think it's not really fair to white people?
Oh well.
You're trying to keep the white man down. That's the problem with this country.
That's not gonna happen. See, now I know how it feels.
Good to hear that. So please make some comments and let us know if you disagree with our opinions in a nice way. Intelligent comments are much preferred. I don't see a lot of intelligent comments on YouTube and on Yahoo, but maybe our channel will be an exception.
Yeah, be an enlightenment for us. Like, oh, okay.
Right. So, okay. So, you want to say goodbye?
Y'all take care. Peace out.
All right. See you later. Thanks for listening.